and he wanted to face a Kaaba. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we see the change of your face in the heavens. We know what you are yearning to, and we will give you, and this is a very beautiful relationship. We'll give you a qibla that you are pleased with. Okay? فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. Go ahead now, change your direction to Masjid al-Haram. And the ayat came, and the news spread quickly. And when the news spread, the believers changed their direction. And in a masjid in Quba, in Medina, where there is a masjid Dhul Qiblatayn, has two qiblas, because the news came to them as they were praying, and when the news came, they changed the direction as they are praying. Okay? And this is very significant to show us the relationship between the companions and how they trusted one another and how they listened to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam immediately. Okay? Because that news came through one. Meaning, imagine the companions are praying. They have an imam and the mu'min there, and they are praying. And then they hear someone coming, and they know his voice. Or maybe don't quite know, but most likely they know his voice. Okay? And saying, news came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The direction of the prayer changed. They did not stop to verify. They did not say, the imam. Can you imagine the imam there as he's praying and say, the qibla changed. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the qibla changed. That's huge. That's huge, right? So now what he's going to do? Is he going to say, okay, let's just finish the prayer here, okay? Finish that extra rak'ah, right? And then see what's going on. Okay? Maybe this person is, maybe this, maybe that, okay? Because this command is so huge now. I'm going to give my direction, my back to the direction I'm praying to. Okay? But he didn't wait. Okay? He didn't wait. It just shows you the attitude of the companions to the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Immediately, سمعنا وأطعنا. Okay? So they did change directions. Okay? So this news shook the society. And those, yarhamukallah, those in Muslims who are weak, actually their iman became very weak, and some left. Say, what is this? So what happened? Again, they take it by what? By sense. Okay? They make a judgment according to their intellect, their capacity of thinking. Okay? And we have to be very careful with that. We have to be very careful to use our capacity of thinking, judging the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The wisdom and all the wisdom with the words of Allah. And it's absolutely haqq. And the lack of wisdom is with our intellect, and our intellect changes. Okay? And it changes from one person to another. One person is very smart, one is not as smart. One has so much education, one doesn't. One has so much experience and one does not. And one will have an experience in one way of subject matter, and others might not have it, have experience in other matter and so forth. But that which changes and it's not, does not have the wisdom and has something here and lack of something here, cannot be the judge on something that is absolute haqq from Allah. Okay, it's very important to understand that. Okay, so now the what is needed, what is a must upon us is to if the command to verify within our intellect to the source, and if it is the source is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whether it is coming as a Quran or as a hadith, then that is enough verification. We reach this. Now, does this hadith, particular hadith, or this ayat make sense or not? That is a whole different story. We do not say that our obedience to this news is going to be we're going to wait until it makes sense to us. No. Okay? It will make sense to us now or later and so forth. Okay? And if it doesn't make sense to us now, in application we'll see the fruit of it, we'll see the wisdom of it. And some will die and some will live to see the wisdom. But that is not, a condition with which we first get it before we follow. No. Okay? So, those who doubted this and so forth fell into the matter of getting the intellect over the text by saying, so what happens to our prayer now? So was the first direction was wrong and now is right? So now all our prayer is gone? Do we have to pray again? And so forth? No. Earlier in the page, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, no, لله المشرق والمغرب, belongs to Allah the east and west. Okay? Don't be hyper technical here. Don't be hyper technical here. Okay? And build something on something with your intellect. Again, sometimes Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam will give us a command and does not tell us the wisdom behind this command. And sometimes he will give us the command and tell us the wisdom behind the command. But we're not waiting to know the wisdom to follow. Okay? When something was discovered, okay? Something was discovered. What is it? That the fly, the wings of the fly, one wing would carry the disease, the other wing will carry the cure for it. Okay? The antidote for it, if you will. Okay? It was discovered scientifically. And now Muslims come in running, okay? Some Muslims. See, Rasulullah was saying the truth. This is it. What are you excited about? We know Rasulullah was saying the truth to begin with, without us understanding it or not. Right? So Rasulullah said, when a fly falls into your liquid, the liquid you're drinking, immerse it in it before you and then throw it out and drink. And that does not make sense. Because a fly falls into your drink, you want to take it out immediately. You don't want to immerse it more because what your mind is telling you that it's carrying filth. Okay? And this filth, you want to immerse it more in your drink. Right? But Rasulullah ﷺ in this hadith told us the wisdom behind that. Gave us the information. Told us that this wing is this and this wing is that, so immerse it and take it out. Right? If Rasulullah ﷺ did not tell us the wisdom behind that, would you have done that? It takes a lot of submission now, a lot of just trust to the word. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, فَمِنْ حَيْثُ خَرَجْتَ فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ وَحَيْثُ مَا كُنْتُمْ فَوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ شَطْرَهُ Whatever direction that wherever you find yourself, put your direction toward Mecca, al-Bayt al-Haram. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam came out and told the companions, to face the al-Masjid al-Haram, and he faced south from Medina. He faced south, the direction of south, and then put his hands up like this to his side, okay, like for 45 degrees so, and says, this is the direction. Another word, within this angle, okay, do you do diligent to get it right. And so long that you are within this angle, you're okay. Okay? So if you've prayed and then you found out it's off a little bit here, it's okay. We have a room of 45 degrees where you can actually pray. Okay? For example, here, okay, here the Qibla is off to the left a little bit. The actual Qibla, it will be a news for everybody. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that. It's off a little, and it's just a tad to the left. Okay, but if we do this in not so much wide room, it's long but it's not wide, what would happen? We lose a couple of saf. We lose couple, right? Can you imagine? It will be an angle. We'll lose a couple of saf in here. Okay. So inshallah, when the new masjid is built, okay, and it's a little off, don't go, what happens to our prayer? Okay. Okay. So now, وحيثما كنتم فولوا وجوهكم شطرا وإن الذين أوتوا الكتاب لا يعلمون أنه الحق من ربهم. And the people of the book, وإن الذين أوتوا الكتاب, إن, right? Indeed, the people of the book, لا يعلمون, لام, the lam is توكيد, indeed twice, أنه الحق من ربهم, that it is al-haqq from the Lord. وَمَا اللَّهُ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا يَعْمَلُونَ. Allah is not neglecting and not seeing what they are doing. Okay? So, that again, that political theme in this, there is, okay, which is, here is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that وَلَئِنْ أَتَيْتَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ بِكُلِّ آيَةٍ مَا تَبِعُ قِبْلَتَكَ. If you give to the people of the book every ayah, every proof and everything, okay, وَلَئِنْ أَتَيْتَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ بِكُلِّ آيَةٍ مَا تَبِعُ قِبْلَتَكَ. They will not follow their qibla. That verse like that has that political point in it, which is it is not a matter of truth or false here. It's a matter of control. So if you go to the people of the book and say what's wrong, okay, why aren't you following me? And they would tell you something or another, and you answer them with logic, and you answer them with the truth, and you give them a proof that what you're saying is the truth, and they want an ayah and give them the ayah that they ask for, they're still not going to follow you. Why now? It is because of control, because of the authority. The authority has gone away from them. See, someone can project justice, equality, fairness, enlightenment, light, correctness, and very beautiful words, right? And then see their action is completely the opposite of what they're saying. That's exactly what the West is, right? The West started with what? That concept of the West. Okay, started in the Renaissance. It was a revolution against the church. Without going too much detail, it was a revolution against the church. Why? What was their beef about this? They're saying the Pope and the church is not applying what they have, right? What they're saying is reading the Bible, but what they're doing is what? Accumulating wealth, looking at this dunya, right? And they're not really applying it, okay? So we gotta, these people are hypocrites, okay? We gotta, refuse this and work against this. And that was the concept, the reasons why. And which was true. The church was a political entity looking to acquire land and so forth, acquire wealth, okay, and control, okay. So they came up with this idea of separating church and state, right? But what did they do? Exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. What did they do? They have ideologies, words that's really nice, fairness, goodness, justice, this and that, right? Equality. But what they applied was what? Acquiring wealth and control. Exactly like what the church did. There is no difference between the time before the Enlightenment and after the Enlightenment. There is no difference. The goal was the same. The objective was the same. So, in United States, as they are called, what the founder fathers, when they say democracy, okay, and we have fairness and justice and all of that, and everyone is equal and so forth. When they were putting the system of election, we're going to elect leaders. Do you know who was allowed to elect, to vote? Huh?
The whites or the elite?
I'm sorry?
The elite?
The elite, oh yeah, only the white elite, not all the whites. Okay? So in other words, they're saying, we're going to elect one from among us here and make decision from among us here. And then, they expect a little bit, this a little bit, but there's still, politically they say we have to be politically correct here eventually, but the weight is the same still, okay? And the whole system, it is a system of acquiring wealth and putting the idea of God away from the system, period, and went outside of their ways, or out of their ways, to attack and pillage so many countries and so many people, and the result was killing and slaughtering and so forth. The fruit of all of this, you have the world wars. Okay, you have two wars that combine death, close to 100 million, more than 100 million died in this. That is the result of this system. Okay, and they came out of this war and they said, "What? No, guys, we're gonna destroy each other here. Okay, we're gonna destroy each other. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna, use this animosity and so forth outside of our circle. Okay? If there is any war, it should not happen among us. It should happen outside of us. Okay? So together we unite against everybody else. So we say we should not fight with one another, but it is okay to go and kill and fight and get the resources of everybody else. That is basically the result of the two world war. That is, and sure enough, after that, what happened? Going all over Africa and the and the East, Far East, and we know the history of all of this. Okay. So the essence of the relationship became what? Discussion and reaching, if we have a problem among each other, let's discuss it. And no war. Okay? Find out and reach some solution. Okay? But outside of that, no discussion, no, because all the values that we carry is not applying to anybody else. Okay? So it's okay to go and kill others and take their wealth and so forth and oppress them. All these values is with each other here only. Okay? Not only that, but each other here, the elite. But those who are among us, still we're going to use them and abuse them and oppress them as well. Okay? Which is how the society is. Why Ukraine is very dangerous? Because now the Europeans, if you will, after World War, now they are solving the problems with what? With war. That is something new. That is against the agreement that they have. Okay? This is something dangerous now. Okay? We're not sitting on the table and discussing things. That's a whole different lecture. But the point is, if you bring them all the signs, they will not follow you. Because the idea is not to follow the truth. The idea is their ways now, it is a more of a political than religious. It is who's going to be in control, who's going to control wealth and so forth. Okay? وَمَا أَنْتَ بِتَابِعٍ قِبْلَتَهُ. And you're not going to follow their directions here. Okay? The matter is done. وَمَا بَعْضُهُمْ بِتَابِعٍ قِبْلَةَ بَعْضٍ. Okay? That they're not going to follow the Qibla. Another word, they will have that dispute all the time. Okay? But they will not have a dispute they will unite against you. Okay? When you come into the equation, they will be against you. When you're out of the equation, they will fight one another. Okay? This is basically what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying here. Okay? And before. Okay? Because remember when they said, لَن يَدْخُلَ الْجَنَّةَ إِلَّا مَنْ كَانَ هُودًا أَوْ نَصَارًا. No one will enter Jannah except a Jew or a Christian. Okay? Meaning they are agree together when they're talking to you. You're not going to enter Jannah. We are. But then, the ayah after it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قالت اليهود ليست النصارى على شيء وقالت النصارى ليست اليهود على شيء. Okay? The Jews says that the Christian have standing on no ground, whatever. And the Christians saying the Jews do not stand on any ground at all, and there is dispute among them. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that they had an agreement. Why? When they were against you. Okay? So, and now the ayat ends with a warning. وَلَئِنِ اتَّبَعْتَ أَهْوَاءَهُمْ. And if you follow their desires after the knowledge that came to you, then now you will be committing injustice now. That's injustice. This matter is done. This matter is done. And we'll see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repeat this couple of times in the next page, over and over and over again. Okay? This idea of khalas, this relationship is severed in this way. There is a leader, and there is a message, and there is a direction. Okay? And now Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is leading the whole humanity, whole mankind, clearly. Before Rasulullah came to Medina, it was like, okay, but we are still the leader, this and that. He comes to Medina, where they are, and they were about to take the leadership, and now he takes the leadership and go to a different direction. That is a hit to their plan. Okay? And we know what happens after that, and how they try to kill Rasulullah and so forth. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. If you would like to make any comments, inshallah.
A lesson from this book, the last about
نعم.
أهواءهم, they're just following their own desires, nothing else. Own desires meaning their own needs, their own interests, whatever it is. Because Allah in another part of the ayah says, أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. Because that's their framework, that's what they follow, and nothing else.
Yeah.
So this sums it up all.
Yes. As you mentioned, the Abraham Accord, as
Yes.
you say, what is it?
Yes.
They tell you to regress, to come back to backwards, right? It is not, he's saying we are together and so forth. Okay, why don't you follow us now? Right? If we are all the same and so, why don't you follow us? Follow, recognize Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And if they do recognize Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they would recognize the Sunnah, recognize the Quran, read the Quran. I'll tell you what you are standing on is wrong. Right? So they cannot claim that. They cannot. Okay? If they tell you we are both the same and so forth, okay, let's go. Let's read and see. Okay? And follow. Okay?
Deep down, it's the intention to put away the Islam.
Yes.
Then form their own, and then control humanity after that.
That is a separation between church and state
Yes.
still.
Yes,
Right.
yes, yes.
Going back to the religion in a way of taking you away from the religion.
Yes, exactly right.
Yeah.
I happened to attend a graduation ceremony, Shaykh Hamid, of one of the closest relatives. And I did not realize, subhanAllah, that all the talks, the advisors, the people who are giving this speech, has nothing, they did not mention of God at all.
Yes.
Hey, you made it, 2024 graduates, you made it, you did it, you can do it, you can
Yeah.
be whatever you want to be. It's
Yes.
just focusing on an individual, on
Yes.
the actions of an individual,
Yes.
and nothing, God has nothing to do with this.
Right.
Nothing mentioned of Allah.
Yes.
I just dawned on me because I have listened many of those, but I have not.
The thing I notice is this science. Some of the science they try to doesn't mention God at all.
Yes.
Yes.
The one biggest scientist, even Einstein,
Yeah.
he said there is some sort of
Finally,
way
yeah.
with all
Yeah.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
all their. So they follow these Apple News, give all the latest developments in science and technology, space, especially in space, and they're thinking of extraterrestrial life and alien and everything. But somehow they never think of or talk about there is some creator who is
No.
controlling everything.
No. It is even look at the iPhone. Look at the iPhone. What is the iPhone model? When you look at it, what first thing you see? The apple. And it is a bite off of the apple. What is that? That's challenge. The concept is a challenge, which is what? Knowledge. Right? Because in their thinking that God wanted Adam not to eat from that because he will have knowledge and compete with Allah. Can you imagine that? That's their concept, right? So God told him not to get near the tree so he does not compete with him. So the one who designed this is his concept. Saying, I'm going to take a bite of the apple and I'm going to be... You understand? Okay. And what is the iPhone? What is the eye? That is the Dajjal sign. That's one-eyed thing. And if you see that one eye is all over the place. Okay?
Eye. Oh,
Yeah.
in his eye.
Yes, it is all over the place. Okay? Look at the money that you have. The pyramid, it has that one eye on top of it. Okay? So the point here is, it is, as you said, the advancement in science, the challenging even. Not just recognizing, but challenging Allah. Subhanallah.
I haven't looked at it that way. Shaykh.
Oh yes.
So very good.
Also, Allah Ta'ala in Quran challenging them and honor on my science.
Yes.
If you can look that way also, oh creator,
Yes.
Yeah.
and you can look at that angle also, creator created this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody else.
Yeah.
But I have not seen any scientist that's,
Yes.
talk about the creator who has designed this, so
Yes.
they don't talk about that angle at all.
Yes. Yes, the Muslim scientists, their very discovery was not exclusive. This is that it is to serve. Right? Its discovery is to serve. Okay? It is to find a way for a life to become easier and so forth. Imam Shafi'i rahmahullah said, before he died, he said, I neglected science, I neglected tibb, which is, medicine. Because he was interested in medicine, okay? But he did not quite, his study in the fiqh took him, away from that, did not pay much attention to medicine, but he wanted to, and he was dabbling into this. Okay. I'm sorry, Akhuna Siddiqui, go ahead, inshallah.
No?
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, you have what, less than 10 minutes then.
Alhamdulillah, today we continue with Surah Al-Baqarah and we did two ayahs, ayah number 144 and 145. Now it's a similar topic like we discussed last time, but in those ayahs that we did, last two ayahs, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was giving us the